Snuff is back? Like Spider-Man with a broken back? Started disturbing books a while ago, but I bit off more than I could chew. Let's finish the first book, Snuff by Eric, Nick, and Adam Huber, which is about two serial killers who sell their snuff tapes. Yeah, I recommend watching the first video or else you're gonna be so confused. Link in the description. Now last time I used lots of stock footage, but it's too expensive. This time I'm using AI generated artwork to make a picture book kind of format. I hope it goes well. Next week we are talking about Tampa by Alyssa Nutty. That book is pretty crazy, and if you want to follow along with me, you can buy it through my Amazon affiliate link in the description. If you want to read what happens, including all the messed up parts, stay tuned for the book. Cue the Gohan. Jack has a dream that dates back to Halloween day at high school. He dresses up in Eric Harris cosplay basically. He also bought a gun to school where he and his high school mate Toby plan on using it first on that girl who never gave them any attention. Jack would pull the gun out in the middle of class, shooting bullets in the ceiling before aiming the gun at his friend Toby. So Jack says that this dream was real, only he didn't kill anybody because he forgotten to bring bullets. And then you became an actor? That's weird. Next, Jack describes a girl he met while working at an office after high school. She was perfect, like Celeste Price. You'll know who that is if you watch the next disturbing book. And he buried an axe in her skull to keep her perfect. Now one night, Jack goes to a club. Think like the Batman, remember that one club? He meets a mobster named Raymond Goretti. Raymond Goretti wants him to make a snuff film where 4 prostitutes are horrifically tortured. So Jack prepares to make the ultimate snuff film, but his partner, Mikey, is kidnapped by someone. The author would like you to think that the kidnapper is Raymond Goretti, but it's not. Let's move on. This snuff film is a clown nightmare where the 4 prostitutes are dressed in carnival kinda attire and Jack looks like this, unsurprisingly. This is the most disturbing part of the book, so let's get right into what he does to them. He drugs them with Rohypnol, and they all think it's just a porn tape. One of the girls, he slit open her taint to the pink beneath, blood gushed. Another girl, he slashes their throat from ear to ear. And the next girl, Jack placed a cube of dry ice on each eyelid. Before the pain started, he grabbed a few more cubes and shoved them inside her. Her uterus began to seize and burn, and she tried opening her eyes to the pain, but couldn't. Suddenly, she felt her candy-violated mouth pull open, and more cubes fell in against her throat and tongue. Grabbed a wad of dry ice and pulled. Part of her uterus was stuck together in a wad as he pulled it free. Blood dripped on the floor as Jack began to mutilate her. He put his bloody hand in her mouth, prying it open, and pulled the dry ice free from her throat and cheeks. Her tongue came with it. Jack then grabbed a power drill with a saw bit used to make holes in doors for a knob to fit. Jack used it to put a hole in the Italian's forehead. Bits of bone dust and blood mist filled the air. It rained all over Jack's painted face, but he was careful not to go too deep. He used his fingernail to carefully pry off the perfect piece of scalp and saw the brilliant gray matter underneath, wet and shiny in the fluorescent light. So that was the carnival death tape, probably just as bad if not worse than anything in some of the videos that are online nowadays. Bill Corwin is sitting in his little living room feeling guilty about causing the death of his wife and daughter, and he's mad. But instead of blaming himself, he's ready to kill the people who started this, Jack and Mikey. Now remember, Bill Corwin thinks Jack's real name is John, so he doesn't know his name is Jack. In chapter 19, Jack discovers Mikey has gone missing. He wants to know what happened to him, and he goes to his home finding it broken into. A DVD was placed on the table with the words "Play Me" on it. When he played the DVD, he sees Mikey being tortured to death, being beaten by someone with brass knuckles. The torturer stabs Mikey in the knee and pulls arteries out of his wrist. The torturer says, "You think it was fair my wife did this to her wrist?" So turns out the torturer is Bill Corwin, whose self-imposed trauma has made him Rambo level. Kinda hard to feel any kind of sympathy for the guy who paid to have a woman tortured to death, imagining it's his daughter, then gets all Pikachu faced when he realizes it really was his daughter. Bill sneaks into Jack's home, holding him at gunpoint for torturing his daughter. "Bill," Jack said, "it's not our fault we picked your actual daughter for the film." "You're about to join your trash friend," Bill spat. "I hope you liked my movie. I can be creative too. You know, my wife was when she slit herself." To be honest, Bill, that's not that creative. Creative offing yourself is like using a chainsaw or something. Bill shoots his gun grazing Jack's cheek and going through the door. Unknowingly, Raymond Goretti, that weird mobster, so happened to be outside the door. So that bullet that grazed Jack goes right out the door into Goretti's chest, killing him. Goretti was being built up to be the main villain, but actually it's Bill. And Goretti gets taken out like Samuel L. Jackson gets taken out by a shark. Jack and Bill end up in a car chase. An old lady gets run over at 70 miles per hour, and it's explained how graphic the death was. Eventually, the chase ends as they wreck their cars, killing a whole bunch of other people, and then get into a gunfight in the woods. And Jack is knocked unconscious for torturing. And so, after the death of Jack and Mikey, Bill starts sending tapes of Jack's torture to the families of the women that were killed by Jack in his videos. Bill etched the names of the victims in Jack's skin. Jack is also sodomized with a knife on camera too. So, Jack Sanders is killed, and I suppose that is justice. Bill burns down all of Jack's properties. Now, here is the really big twist. And as soon as I say the next sentence, you'll figure it all out if you saw the first video. Bill Corwin had a son that he gave up for adoption before the birth of his daughter Jenny. You already got it figured out now, don't you? Bill's life insurance and will named the son as the sole beneficiary and heir. In death, he figured to be a better father than he had in life. He sends a letter to his adopted son before offing himself. Guess what this adopted son's name is? Jack Sanders. And that is the end of Snuff. If you watched the first video, you would remember that Jack was adopted. Now, Bill didn't recognize the name Jack Sanders. He only knew the name Mikey told him, John. So the main character, Jack Sanders, was killed by his father, Bill Corwin. So Snuff is not my favorite kind of book. It has its place, and sometimes gory, extreme satire is all you need. It's very short, and I think the first half is the better half, but we got plenty of more books to read and get exposed to. So even if you didn't like this book, don't worry, we got time and we got plenty of more books to read. Thank you for joining a new series. Click the like button if you want to see more videos like this, more disturbing books, and subscribe to see more messed up stuff. Thanks for watching. Spooky out.